Hi there, Sagittarius. Star Lord is here. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. I'm doing a sign-by-sign astrological compatibility, and it's based on the sun sign only. Now, what I've done is made some notes here about thumbs up, thumbs down, or neutral, and I'm going sign by sign from Aries all the way down to Pisces, and just in my opinion how the signs match up. Okay, so first of all, I have Sagittarius and Aries. What I gave that, it was a thumbs up. These two energies seem to work really well together. They're both air signs, and you guys fit very well together, like hand in glove. Sagittarian's way of approaching life and Aries' way of approaching life are very similar. Sagittarians have the flexibility with Aries that they may not have with some of the other signs, and the energies work really, really well together. So definitely a thumbs up on that one for longevity. Now, moving on to Sagittarius and Taurus, I gave that combination for longevity a thumbs down, basically because these two signs approach life from a different perspective, like in a serious way. Sagittarians tend to be sort of freewheeling, and they're not really all that fond of structure, whereas the Taurians are all about structure. They're very ambitious and very steadfast people. They tend to like to stay at home and cuddle, whereas the Sagittarians like to be out and about and be freewheeling and be with people, and they like to flirt and they like to enjoy themselves and have a good time, whereas that might get on Taurus's nerves long term. They may not understand the approach of Sagittarian, and might find that Sagittarian might find that the Taurus energy is a little bit too stifling for them. Now, moving on to Sagittarius and Gemini combination, I gave that a thumbs down, basically because the Sagittarian and Gemini together, that's too much of the same kind of energy. It's polar opposites, so just like I told all the other signs, when it comes to the polar opposites, we tend to be extremely drawn to them, but these can be some of the worst relationships because of the fact that the mirror image is there, right? So we see a lot of similarities in our opposite signs. However, and we make great friends. Polar opposites are usually really good friends, and a lot of times lifelong friends. However, when it comes to a romantic relationship, that's where things get different because of the fact that the energies are similar, but yet they're polarized as well. So when we're drawn to our opposite sign because of the similarities and the mirror image, but then we end up, it's a love-hate thing, we end up really sometimes being repelled by that polar opposite, the polarized energies. And although these relationships can be extremely alluring, we do tend to eventually get very they're very alluring, but we do tend to get into some really, really intense rows with our opposite sign and can destroy the relationship, making it very hard to have a long-term relationship with the opposites. So moving on to Sagittarius and Capricorn, or sorry, Sagittarius and Cancer, I gave this one a thumbs down as well, because Cancers, like the Taurians, tend to be more home focused, and Sagittarians are always wanting to be out and about looking for the new adventure, and they're less about structure, and Cancers are all about structure. So this can cause a problem. Also too, Sagittarians tend to have a lot of friends, and they can be a little flirtatious with, whereas that might make Cancer feel a little bit insecure. Now moving on to Sagittarius Leo, this combination, thumbs up. These two energies work well together, both fire energies, and these two signs tend to really understand each other and can excel in the social realm very, very well. Leo is also ambitious and would be, Sagittarians would be very have a lot of respect for the Leo's ambition and their drive and their love of the social scene, and people love and are drawn to Leos. And Sagittarians would really, really, excel in that type of environment. I have seen this relationship work out long term, and they can be very happy together. Sagittarius and Virgo combination, thumbs down for longevity. Again, these two signs are just approaching life from a different perspective, and it's hard for the other to see exactly where the other one's coming from. So Sagittarius and the fun-loving Sagittarius who wants to roam the world with the very earth-bound Virgo, although they can see eye to eye in some areas of life, but overall I haven't really seen it too much for longevity. Sagittarius with Libra, neutral energy. This combination can work, but not really, because there's not a lot of grounding energy between the two of them. So for long term, the Libra and Sagittarians both have the sociable side to them, which can make them get along on that level. And but in terms of longevity, I really don't see it. Moving on to Sagittarius and Scorpio, I give that combination a thumbs down. These two signs approach life from a different perspective, although they can get along as friends. I don't really see it long term, because the Scorpio is extremely emotional and tends to want to be structured, whereas again the Sagittarians are not really suited for structure. They really love their freedom, and they like to be able to come and go when they want and do the things that they want to do, although they will be very drawn sometimes to the Scorpio. It's just really not their element for long term. Sagittarian and Sagittarian together, thumbs up. I have seen this combination work long term, and they can be quite happy together, both approaching life from the same point of view. Both of them like their freedom, and they like to be sociable, and as long as there's no outstanding issues with the two of them, they can actually get along very well for long term. Sagittarius with Capricorn, that combination is, in my opinion, neutral, because of the fact that you're dealing with an earth sign and a fire sign, and Capricorn, of all the earth signs, is extremely grounded, and the Sagittarian loves, again, their freedom, and loves to go out and about and be extremely sociable. The Capricorn is not particularly a sociable person. The Capricorns do socialize, but it tends to be more business oriented and stuff like that, because they're very ambitious people, and they're very work oriented and very driven in that sense, whereas the Sagittarian loves to see, is the adventurer of the world, loves to see the world and what's out there, and what's interesting and new for them. Again, they can be good friends, but that combination can work, but not on the whole. It doesn't. I haven't seen too many of that combination for long term. Sagittarius and Aquarius together, that combination is actually thumbs up. The two of them do have some kind of innate understanding of one another. The Sagittarian is freedom loving, so is the Aquarian. The Aquarian is one to sort of approach life from a standpoint of the world as opposed to the individual. So, and Sagittarian can understand that, because Sagittarius is one who loves to roam the world, and Aquarians are ones who love to analyze the world, and they feel for the world, and they tend to be a little emotionally detached, and Sagittarius is kind of okay with that. So I give it a thumbs up for longevity. Sagittarius with Pisces combination, that combination is, I gave it a thumbs down for longevity. It's because of the fact that there's not a lot of grounding energy with these two signs. Although they would probably be very much drawn to one another, the Pisces very, sweet and emotionally gets emotionally attached quite quickly, and so can the Sagittarius. But again, it's probably one of those things that'll just, rise up but then fizzle out, because there's just not a lot of grounding energy between these two signs. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope you like this video, and I would love to hear comments about your experiences with the different signs. If you want to share that would be awesome. And if you like this video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, Sagittarius, take good care. Bye for now.